Hi there, and welcome to my Soul Authority channel. I'm Lorraine Van Tool, transformational life coach, holistic psychologist, and meditation guide. I'm staking out the safe spiritual space in solidarity so we can hear our authentic voice over all the noise and realign ourselves with clear choice. This is at the heart of Soul Authority. If you felt burned out and low, join us in rekindling our inner fires and getting back in the flow. Alrighty, so here we are, and together we are gonna practice exactly what I talked about when the external world environment is fragmented, sometimes with a lot of oomph, sometimes with a lot of negative intention on purpose to keep us scattered and unintegrated, not as powerful as we would be when clear and integrated. And sometimes not so intentionally um, or with such negative intention, actually, often with positive intention, even if it's not necessarily as aligned as it could be with our highest self, but we're just so used to, we're just so, especially in modern day life, used to scattering our energy and doing a million things and doing many different things. Even if it's for fun, like this weekend, had so much going on. I went to a wedding and it was, way over there, and we have side hustles and taking care of that, and it was just hard to even be present because different people needed us at different times. We were watching dogs, doing this, doing that. So it's easy to spread ourselves thin or multitask and believe it's not affecting us, or think that, well, it might be affecting us, but we're managing it well. And we did manage everything well. We took care of many multiple things in different locations, different places, all well. But I feel scattered, and you might feel that way. And some people might live and be that way all the time and not even realize it. And then on top of that, um, all the politics, stories that you hear that are maybe intended to really attack our core integrity, our strength, and drive terror in our bones. And it's really kind of strange for me, having lived in a smaller country where the same terror was driven in the bones, but you're in a small place and it's just really just more real in some ways. And here it is, but it's almost video game-ish like, right? It's not for everybody, of course, some people. And I work even with people who are talking about watching things and seeing their community, their loved ones being dragged and taken and whatever. But still, even then, it's so quickly forgotten, or like it's not real. It's just a really bizarre way to experience all the different ways in which uh, we're being oppressed, marginalized, split, especially because there are factions and other groups and people who might think of things completely differently. And there, like I mentioned in the other teaching, there are many people who live like that since the day they're born, based on, because of the way they look, their culture, their belief, their orientation, their gender, all that. And then there are people who had the privilege and lives that were never confronted with some of these things till now. So it's all a mixed bag. The truth of the matter is, all of this has been going on and will probably be still going on somewhere. in the world, and I do consider myself more of a world citizen than citizen from any one location, despite me setting a boundary and me deciding where I want to live that is most aligned with my highest good and where I be most effective in terms of helping and leading people. So that is now the point. Um, Recognizing that we're never really truly safe if we're really closely connected, and how to allow ourselves and connect with safety, with integrity, and with a place, even if that place is your room where you're hiding for 10 minutes. Or I was thinking a lot and channeling Nelson Mandela a lot with these teachings. Even if you're in a jail, even if you can't do anything, um, or Viktor Frankl, for example, the Holocaust, like, all these great leaders and thinkers who left us with these lessons that you're always free in the mind. And if you're free in the mind, you can be free in the body. And even if you're sick or starved or whatnot, that's still, in my book, different than beating ourselves up and all twisted in a pretzel and hating on ourselves and internalizing hatred around us. So I think it's imperative for us to find that spot, that place, and that's what we're doing here through the me time, through meditation. So the first thing here I'm recognizing what scatter does, right? I already did a mental teaching. Usually I drop quicker into my core, my body, my soul, but scattered leaves me or us more in our cognitive brain and want to sort through things and get on top of things. So my apologies for taking a little longer, but that's part of the teaching, I suppose. So I am really breathing in my core at the same time and wanting to have the weight be stronger there than in my brain. And really, as I'm talking, instead of giving my brain more weight and more airtime or whatnot, I'm really sort of um, extracting, I guess, giving it less weight and putting more weight in my belly. So I don't get tricked or lured or seduced into the idea that my brain is gonna balance and integrate. It's not. It really isn't. So now I am feeling more presence in my belly, and something clicked. It's like, almost. I could go on, and I probably never feel integrated doing that. So it's like, I caught myself. So we're gonna now just breathe in the core and just hack kind of what the brain wants us to do, which is just to keep talking things out or this or that. What that would do if we communicate first and connect second is our communication actually will justify the disconnect. If we're in conflict and we learn better communication skills, we often end up driving a deeper wedge and defend ourselves more and justify more why the conflict exists. Even within ourselves, we look for reasons why we don't deserve love or this or that. So the brain is tricky that way. So we connect first. We're basically saying the solution, the peace, all that we're looking for is right there under our nose. It's totally accessible. And yes, forgiveness, repair, all these things need to happen. But the more we all connect first to that rupture or this transgression against ourselves, which often is what happens in our blind spot when we're mistreated by others. If we repair that first, all the things we want to do in the world and with others, conflict resolution, all that, will go so much better. So that's what we're doing. We're connecting deeply to ourselves. And this connection needs no reason. It's a basic right. It doesn't go, track or trace or justify, uh, tally up all the things, the brownie points we did to deserve the love and connection. No, we just go there and we start gathering the parts of ourselves. So I, for example, and you could do the same thing, experience fun things and lots of things, stimulation and whatnot at the wedding. So I might gather all my parts there. Things I heard, things that were so touching, things that were whatever. It's all, it was all great to experience it, but it's maybe still hanging up a little bit over there. So I gather that up and I bring it back with me. And similarly, things that may have been a little hard and stressful, listening to whatever, the news, having to deal with traffic, this or that, or conversations you had with other people, driving by things, hearing about their struggles or, good things, all of that. You gather the parts of yourself that might still be stuck in that conversation and you bring it into your center. And you start developing more and more self trust when you can gauge for yourself when you're feeling more solid, when you're feeling more integrated, when you're feeling more whole, when you're feeling more present instead of frantic and trying to remedy the scattered feeling by wanting to get on top of things mentally, or maybe even tangibly, getting all your duckies in a row. But what it does, it scatters or it spreads your energy even thinner. So usually that doesn't do that. So we're just sort of folding into ourselves more and more. And hopefully, what that does, it gives a sense of inner peace and confidence and self trust that we don't need to chase anything. We don't need to be reactive. We can trust ourselves for things to naturally unfold and that our pace is good enough, and not only good enough, but optimal. So we can use the elements for this as well as our tree. We're sitting with the tree and feeling that backbone because what we do is counterculture. So some people just meditate and it all falls in place. But when I use my system and the tree and the sanctuary and the elements, I really feel like I did a thorough sweep and I looked under every stone and rug and nothing was left behind. So sitting with the tree and getting that courage already might boost me um, in ways that I didn't realize I needed, because if I interact with a lot of people, I kind of get influenced by how most people are. And I said, like I explained, this is counterculture. So no, criticism or anything, but what I need is a little bit more. So I go there and I get let go of those social attachments and I give myself a boost with the authenticity and the courage of being by myself, being authentic with the boundary. I know I'm still connected to everybody, but right now I need to connect stronger to myself. So I have the boundary around myself. I'm in my sanctuary. I'm boosting my energy. I feel my core also as sort of the trunk of the tree. So a lot of activity, but in the stillness, right? There's this clear channels of energy that get fed by the sun from above and all the energy coming from the below, the center of the earth. And I clear that. I want that flushed out. And I know this is pure energy just like when your heart beats or when a tree grows, no matter what the tree endured, there's a new, brand new ring, like a newborn baby that emerges in your core. So I make sure I can feel that fresh core. Whatever happens, happened. Sometimes you can clear it, but sometimes you're just like, oh, I'm just going to let it be on the bark and start new. So it's kind of like beginner's mind. So I know I'm cyclical. It's continuous cycle of life and death. So I don't kind of fight it and make it whatever. Just like, okay, that's dying. New one, new day. So that's happening. So now I feel that channel is cleared and it's fueled by my heart. So I want to activate that. The heart is the epicenter. So building on previous teachings, the heart is the epicenter that beats, clears. So now we have the above and below connected, and now we want to connect all around. And I feel my heartbeat. I do things simultaneously, and this doesn't scatter me. It's kind of like a metronome. People play the piano or instrument. So now I feel my heart beating while I'm still talking and doing things, right? And you're multitasking, but you're simultaneously aware of things, and hopefully it makes it richer, more integrated instead of scattered. So you might tap even for the beat of your heart or beat of things. And so now all around you are the four elements. And I want my heart to be fueled by air, fire, earth, and water. And I want those channels to be just as clear as the above and below, coming from mind activity, heart activity, body activity, and soul activity that is free of ego mind obstructions and polarizations. So, us connecting with with the above and below is how we clear the polarities because it's just a reminder. The tree's not going to get higher, grow higher without the roots going deeper. The roots are not going to go deeper without the tree growing higher, right? Getting energy from both sources. So that's the paradox of things, life and death, light and dark, above and below, spirit and matter. So we're doing now the same. We're connecting to air in front, our highest truth, a mental activity, but expanding so much that we can see thinking, thoughts, beliefs, stories that are a bit limiting and fueled by the good, bad, success, failure, polarities and dynamics in our current split world. So we recognize that, we acknowledge it, we honor it as something we can't completely avoid, but we don't give it all the weight that we did before. We look at our highest truth, the big picture, the long view, give spaciousness, new insights, inspiration, and ideas that we can breathe into the stories, read between the lines, give a little bit more info there, fresh ideas in there. Then we go to fire and the same thing. Our indignance, our good, bad, our sense of justice, our resentment, all the things, right? It's too often stuck. It's influenced by the polarities of good, bad. And we want to be a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more guided by our inner sense of wisdom and clarity of what makes sense. What's in our control? What is good use of our energy? Is it this burst, the short-term sprint? Or is it the ultra marathon where we have to really pace ourselves? Is it something mixed between, what is it determined by? What is actually happening at the moment outside of ourselves? And how do we engage with that without bringing baggage or old imprints? So that keeps us resilient, keeps us agile, also keeps us our immunity working strong because we can be counted on as protectors instead of not doing things haphazardly, but doing things that are following some other imprint or blueprint or whatnot that doesn't really match the current situation. So the same with earth, which is our bodies, our grounding, our patterns, our habits, but also what the systems we set up in our lives, the places, the structures we choose, where we work, where we live, how we set up our daily routines, our sleep, our eat, our all of that. We all build it. It's all an expression of our inner blueprint. So you can always break it down or you can always start new, and just say, let me like assess things, from the bottom up. We're just a bag of bones and a bag of habits and a bag of beliefs. And you can literally say, okay, let me start fresh. Midnight. Okay, what do I do between midnight and whatever hour in the morning? Okay, do I want to keep doing that? Yes. Okay, good. Now when I wake up, I do this, do that. Do I like to do that or not like to do? What do I want to do instead? What do I want to keep? What makes sense? What doesn't? So we have the prerogative, the choice to do all that for ourselves. We have lots of things that, that are done to us, especially this moment, but this is what I mean with being crystal clear about the good habits and the things that are going to get you through, even when the external world is not doing what you wanted to do. And then you can even add an element of, okay, I feel like I'm called to be a leader to change this or that, and this is how I want to tackle it. This makes the most sense, but it will make more sense if it's put on top of a system that's already working. It's not going to probably do well or make much sense if your inner system is either not intentional, a little chaotic, a little inconsistent. This is something you build on things that are working. Okay, so now next and last is water. And water fuels, water hydrates, offers life and all that, keeps things moist, and also detoxes. And if it's irrigated well, we're not going to have any soggy, sort of muddy, icky, moldy, anything happening, flooded stuff. We keep things flowing. And all of these elements need to work together for things to keep flowing, for things not to be blown out, to be just the right temperature, for fire to work, to dry things up, um, for water to be just right, for fertilizer to be there, for the irrigation system and the river banks or whatever we create, structures to flow. And that's how we have a healthy body, healthy system that we can count on, regardless what the world does. Right? Like Martin Luther King said, even I forget the exact words, but if the world would no longer be, he would still plant his apple tree. Um, and hopefully we all have that, right? And especially if you believe in the next life, it's like, well, I hope I get an A for passing this test. Nothing worked, but at least, it became crystal clear in terms of what I want to do. And if I'm lucky enough, in the next life, I am gonna get this beautiful garden, all the seeds, what I know I need to preserve, who I am, We'll still be there in the next life. Hopefully, have the beautiful patch of land and the gardeners and the whatever weather, everything cooperating. So I have a wonderful harvest. But at least you trust your seeds, you honor them, and you carry them with you with pride and confidence, even if you don't get to grow your patch of flowers or vegetables or whatnot. Okay, so that is it for today. I see our time is over. It always flies by so fast. Let's sit in the center with our tree now. These cycles are like the seasons. Once you set things up and it feels perfect, guess what? Something changes in your environment or whatnot. Some tweaking needs to happen. And you start back with air to get a very clear understanding first, right? Zooming out, what is or might be the problem. And then you're going to go deeper back in with fire, feeling it out. Just like your immune system, like where's the pathogen? What is giving me this inflammation? Where's the problem? And then doing good things, habits, and whatnot to boost your immunity and set a stronger boundary, and then flushing it out. So over and over, this goes just like your body does this over and over again. So let's sit with the tree and allow all of these shifts and insights to take deep, deep root in your consciousness. Hopefully, all the split parts now feel like they got a place. Maybe, they're on the tree, they're all the different leaves, and they're active, they're vibrant, or maybe some are falling off, maybe some are brand new. They're no alarm because we don't live, we're not in our consciousness is not in a single tree. I mean, a single leaf. My apologies. We're in the tree and we're seeing the whole. And when we're coming from this place of soul authority that's possible, we can see things very precisely and zoom in very closely and understand maybe what a single leaf is experiencing without losing ourselves in it. But if we don't come from our centered place, we do feel like each one of the leaves, so either the dying leaf or the merging leaf, and we just lose sight of the whole. So that's kind of what happens when we're scattered, like I said, right? With this wedding, talk to lots of people. We don't want to also cut that off. It's not like, oh, don't have that experience. That is life. But catch yourself, come back to yourself. After you had an experience like that, gather all your parts, integrate all that you learned, reset, and start your day afresh. Thank you for joining me today in staking out spiritual space in solidarity and in community. Please share this video and the Zoom link below with anyone who would love some support in hearing their authentic voice over all the noise and realign with clear choice. I offer me time through meditation virtual meetings every second and fourth Monday of the month from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. PST. If you would like deeper and more personalized guidance, how to heal, love, lead with soul authority, please visit me at soulauthoritycoaching.com or thesacredhealingwell.com for more information.